Whenever I know that life coming up is gonna get very hectic, busy, I'm gonna turn into a bit of a stress mess, Jess, and I wanna try and mitigate that. That's when I like to try and do favors for future me. This could be doing preliminary work, getting things prepared, essentially anything that I can do so future Jess has an easier time of it. Given that December is going to be Vlogmas, which means a video per day release on the channel, and there's a lot of work that goes into that, along with all the other goals I'm trying to work on, the focus for the last week was very much trying to do some kindnesses for future me. To see what kind of kindnesses I tried to undertake and how I got on with those, we're gonna have to jump back to Monday morning. Good morning, happy Monday. After having such a kind of like narrow focus last week, really trying to get the second brain done and such, I'm feeling a little bit discombobulated in terms of everything else. My health related goals in particular and the actions I'm supposed to take for those have kind of fallen by the wayside, as evidenced by the McDonald's bag over there. And as a result, I'm not feeling great in the body. For that reason, I'm really going to be trying to get back on track with those good habits that I was building for myself, like getting up at the same time every day, making sure that I'm eating according to plan, or at least just better than I have been. I think we got takeout like 5-6 meals out of however many last week. Not great, especially because the takeout choices aren't necessarily the healthiest for me, but that's okay. That was last week. This is this week, and we're starting the morning not with overnight oats because I forgot to make any, but we'll just have porridge. That does mean I definitely need to make overnight oats to my task list for the day, which I haven't really written, which also probably adds to the whole discombobulated feeling. So on the cards for today, we have 1, breakfast, 2, go upstairs, eat breakfast and write a list, and then 3, get on with everything else. Having said that, given I've got the measuring cup out, I might as well start making my overnight oats. Essentially, I'm just going to task batch making my regular breakfast with my overnight oats, because then I don't have to wash this again later when it inevitably gets dirty for some reason. Like right now it has oat crumbs on it, but that's because I already measured out my breakfast. Okay, I was actually so discombobulated that I forgot that I started writing a list. That one starts on this page and then goes over to here and then goes over again to here. Main task for today though is working on the vlog, or the editing of it. But I also went and wrote down my priorities list for the week, so at least I feel like slightly less of a scatterbrained mess. The vlog has 5 hours and 46 minutes of footage, so it is time to get started. In looking ahead and thinking about Vlogmas and such, I am a little bit concerned as to what will happen if I do not get started on working on Vlogmas sooner rather than later, mainly because Mondays are typically like fully taken out for editing the last week vlog, and then hopefully, hasn't happened as much as I'd like it, but hopefully having a goal block session in the afternoon. I'm thinking that that goal block session for today might be for Vlogmas, depending on how long editing this takes. But despite feeling kind of worried, I am also feeling optimistic. Let's get into it. Rather than really working on goal work first thing in the morning, I decided to use the Epic Goals work along session to do the vlog editing. I kind of find that it roughly takes me about 45 minutes to edit 1 day worth of footage, but this of course depends on how much footage I have for any individual day. For instance, this time around, the Monday footage from last week didn't take me quite as long because there just wasn't as much there. Let's also note the fact that my desk is a complete tip and I definitely need to clean it up. Shishmexer has spoken, it is time for lunch. I've just gotten to the end of Thursday and we're at 42 minutes edited with 3 hours and 32 minutes total. So like 2 hours 50 left to edit. So I'm making okay time with it for now. Lunch though, hungry. I'm gonna be doing Snackle Plate this week again. No cake this week though, the cake is gone. But I am looking forward to treating the body a little bit better in terms of food this week. Last week had a lot of takeout and things that just weren't necessarily aligned with the health goals that I have for myself. Mainly in terms of dinner, so I need to watch out in particular for dinners. But having a good lunch can also incentivize me to continue to have good foods for dinner. For Snackle Plate today, we have an apple oaty muffin, an apple, and some pretzels. The vlog editing is done, that one is exporting now. I still need to make a thumbnail and it's about 10 minutes past 3, so I'm on track for being able to use the majority of the final block of the day for goal work. Thankfully, I already have some screenshot options for the thumbnail, so I can make that now, which means as soon as it's exported, we can get it uploaded and move on to probably Vlogmas stuff. The upload is happening, all good, but I am looking at my Vlogmas content schedule, just trying to figure out when I'm gonna film what and when I'm gonna edit what to get everything done in time. And then I went and added in slots for all of the rest of October and November as well, because I do have to account for the fact that those are still video releases I need to prepare for. Like, it's all good and well saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna do like all of this video content for these Vlogmas videos at this point in October or November, but I still have other videos that need to be made and I need to dedicate time to those as well. This is where I've gotten to so far. Anything that's grayed out horizontally is like, you don't need to do anything this day. Whereas anything that's grayed out vertically is like, I don't want to work on this day. Mainly because I have some other commitment, whether that's a day off, novel, or maybe a social commitment or a trip or whatever else. But for now, we are keeping the exercise streak alive and we're going to be going for a walk. I do want to trial different types of exercise this week though, because I think a really nice favor to future Jess would be finding other types of exercise that she enjoys. But in an attempt to keep it easy on a Monday, we're just going to go for a walk. The walk was a good time. We got some planning stuff done while we were out as well, and now it's time to make dinner. I'm hungry. We had a very tasty agedashi tofu for dinner, and then I took the time to make some berries for my overnight oats tomorrow because the pineapple's gone. Yes, I could get canned, but I don't want to. But for now, it is creativity time, and because I still have not finished annotating A Court of Mist and Fury, I'm gonna do that. It was a nice time last week, so I figured I'll just do the same this week. Get all cozy in my cozy corner with my candle and my music going, and just read and annotate my book. This time though, I have popcorn, so even better. This time around, I read from chapter 49, or page 476, to chapter 58, or page 556. And I got to read my favorite chapter, chapter 54, featuring many tears, which means I have less than 100 pages left. I'm not going to do the math right now. I don't think my brain could handle it. And definitely one of the things that I can do as a favor for future Jess, even if it's just tomorrow Jess, is get an earlier night than I have the last couple of nights. I'm notorious for saying, oh yeah, I need to get an early night, and then getting to bed like after 11 or sometimes edging towards 12 or beyond. We're not going to have that be tonight. It is just coming up till 9:30 and I am going to take myself to bed. And by the time I'm actually in the bed, like sleep ready, about to turn the lights off, it's 10 past 10. So I'm glad I moved when I did. Good night. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Jess is very pleased that she got an earlier night last night because even though she didn't wake up feeling like super rested, it's still better than the last couple of days. So that is progress. Typically speaking, today would be a full work day. So, you know, using all of my 4 kind of time blocks during the day to do work. But it is Dad's birthday. So instead, I'm actually going to make Tuesday my day off this week rather than Saturday. Kind of just like switch them around and go and spend the day with Dad. I do very much appreciate the flexibility of being able to pick my own schedule to do these kind of things. It is not a kind of perk of my job, I suppose, that I use super often, but it's nice that I can do that this year. I just realized that I left my berries out on the bench for the entire night. I'm still gonna eat them, but I'm a little disappointed in myself. Whoops. I'm trying something different for my overnight oats today. I'm doing a strawberry base and then mixed berries on top, and I'm sincerely hoping that leaving them out on the bench doesn't sully the experience. I'm sure it'll be fine. Also, just judging by how many berries I added to the top of this versus how much I have left, I might have made a little too much, but it's cool. I'll eat them. Like, this was always supposed to last me multiple days, but maybe not that many days. One thing that I also noted is that with the Vlogmas planning that I've been doing, because, you know, went and added in the November videos, that was a good idea. But I also need to get ahead on content for January, because in January we're going to be taking a trip to Korea, and I won't be around to make videos. That video prep is going to have to happen around the same time as I'm doing Vlogmas related stuff too, so I think I need to put those in my schedule as well. There we go, I went and expanded it out, so we now have the January dates, like for posting, and then when they're coming out. No idea what the content's gonna be, but that's okay, that's a future me problem. What definitely feels more like a current problem is that on the schedule we have 56 workdays and 62 videos. I enjoy the challenge, but a challenge it shall be. Thinking of what videos I want to include for January though is a future me problem, because right now we need to pack to go to Mum and Dad's. Today we're taking out the stripy bag. I was gonna take the red one and I actually started packing it, but no, this one. Got my journal, got my pencil case, mini tripod just in case I want to do some filming, my jumper just in case we go for a walk, my comfy pants just in case I want to get comfy, my iPad, and we'll need my tippy tappy typey. Yeah. I think I have all my bits and pieces together now. I haven't managed to make my overnight oats. I'll do that when I get back, but it is time to go. most enjoyable day. Went up to mum and dad's. Dad and I walked to the shops and got a coffee and then walked back. So essentially that was like my exercise for the day because it was about the same length of time. We had lunch. I bought slice over. Dad and I had some gaming time together, like tabletop skirmish type games. One of them we did was naval, and then another one we did with like little Star Wars figurines. It was fairly equally weighted, I felt, even if in the last game the cards were very much against me. And then we went out for his birthday dinner to the Mediterranean Food Warehouse, or at least that's what that used to be called. I think it's just called like the Mediterranean Warehouse now. I don't know. The body isn't necessarily happy at what I ate today, but I did enjoy it while I ate it. Tomorrow is a work day though, and I want to make sure that I get good sleep because that will be doing future Jess a favor. It's currently, 3 minutes past 10 now, so a good time to think about getting into bed. I just need to get all of my stuff out of the car first, but good night. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. After a day off yesterday, I am feeling somewhat more refreshed. Didn't have the best night's sleep, but that's cool. Doesn't matter because I'm refreshed enough to get some work done. On the cards for today is mainly work and then our midweek mafia hangout in the evening, which Rachel and I have decided to designate as a book annotating day because we are both behind and we want to get things done. In the interest of doing future Jess a favor, my work today is mainly going to be Vlogmas related stuff, but also getting Saturday's video done. So Saturday's video should probably come first because it's, slightly more pressing. It's this Saturday. And then the Vlogmas stuff. And I'm hoping to at least edit one video that I already have filmed, the one that I accidentally filmed last week instead of filming the thing I was supposed to, and then get on to planning some other ones. First though, it's time for some breakfast, again with the mixed berry overnight oats, and then it'll be straight into work. It's also good to know that there were some other things that I did yesterday as a favor to future Jess, other than just having a day off. In particular, we got the long-term parking booked for our trip to Korea, which is just another thing on the very long list of things that we need to do before we go. And I have been not neglecting per se, but putting off. And not even necessarily intentionally putting off, it's more so just like, I keep forgetting that that is really kind of coming up and we do need to get prepared in advance for it because we're going to a place that is going to be in the middle of winter and we're heading into summer, which means the availability of winter-esque things is going to be not great, so I need to allow for longer shipping times if I need to get things from overseas. But the long-term parking at least has been booked, and I also booked that for our mini moon, or Vogel and mine's mini honeymoon that we're going to be taking in November. And I also took some measurements of my parents' suitcases because I like their suitcases. They're like a good size, whereas mine are just not quite right. So I'm thinking I might need to get new suitcases so that I can take my trips and feel okay about the volume of the cases I'm taking. I think maybe possibly this week I'll investigate actually looking into suitcases, but at least I've got the data there so that then when I look into it, I know what kind of things I'm looking for. Yeah. For now though, breakfast. It does seem that me and my editing software are gonna have beef today, but I'm not gonna let it win because I have videos to edit. Up first, we have the November plan with me. It is currently 8:50, so let's get started. After several hours, that one is finally exporting. It's 11:43. I'm bad at time math. How long is that? 8 to 9 to 10 to 9 to 10 to 11. A little under 3 hours, I think. So like 3 hours of editing, but then there was also several hours of filming and several hours of planning. I think that's fairly typical for a monthly setup, but there is more to be done, so it's on to the next thing. That one being making the thumbnail for the plan with me. Boom, we have a thumbnail. Progress. It is 12:15. That one is uploaded now, which means it's time to get started on the next thing to work on, which is actually one of the first videos for Vlogmas. First in the sense that I've started working on it, not necessarily first in terms of like actual release. Because I figured that the video I filmed last week that wasn't actually the right topic that I was supposed to film for, I'm going to use that for Vlogmas. Essentially turn a mistake into a favor for future me. One thing that I could definitely do as a favor to future Jess in future is leave better notes about where I left off when editing a piece of content, especially if it's not one that I'm coming back to like the very next day. Because usually I'll just leave the editing software open, that's not a problem. But this one, I started editing last week and then I continued editing it today. Between then, I have filmed and edited a completely separate video. So I was like going through the footage, like, oh, does this need trimming or changing? No, okay, past Jess has done that, but has she done a good enough job? Do I need to rewatch the whole thing? It's all good. It's not taking me that long. It's currently like 1:20 and we're making decent enough progress. But I would have been able to get into it quicker if I had better notes left over as to where I was up to. I just need a little more B-roll for that one, and then it is done. And I still need to make a couple other bits and pieces for it, like a thumbnail. But for right now, lunch. For lunch today, Vogel went and got us some Subway, and he also got me a bubble tea. So like, not necessarily what I was planning on having for lunch, but it was very tasty, and now we are back at the desk. Or should I say we are now finally back at the desk to do work, because I might have gotten distracted by how cozy the heater was. So I was standing there in front of the heater, being all toasty and warm, which made it very difficult to leave and come back up to the office, which is only okayishly warm. Like, I prefer it just a little toastier up here. This video is not going to edit itself, so I shall have to edit it. It's currently 2:16. Let's see if we can get this done before 3 o'clock. Boom, that one is exporting. Thumbnail, upload it, title, description box, done? Yeah, done. So that is officially the first Vlogmas video that is ready. Like, it's release ready, it's up, it's scheduled. Which means I can take this row here and highlight that entire thing in green. Yay! That means that the next work-related task is to prepare for tomorrow's live stream, which ideally I would have done on Monday, but I didn't. Actually, ideally I would have done it on Sunday, but I didn't. It's cool, better late than never. But I know that part of what has held me back from getting started on this already is the fact that I just don't know what to do for the thumbnail. Thumbnails for live streams are always kind of tricky, especially when the thing that you want to work on in the live stream is the thing that ideally would go into the thumbnail. So for instance, a journal setup type thing. Can't really take the thumbnail until I've set the journal up, but I'm going to be setting the journal up on a live stream. Yeah. And it's also the kind of thing, like, I don't want to put in a kind of placeholder thumbnail and then have to go back after the fact and make a new thumbnail for the thing. There's got to be a better way. Got my thumbnail sorted though, so now it's time to start thinking about doing something else. In particular, given that it's Wednesday, thus midweek Mafia hangout, I won't be home to do exercise after dinner, so I really need to do it now. It's about 4:30, so half an hour to do exercise, then half an hour to like chill out after exercise and head off to Friendo's house. But one of the favors that I want to do for future Jess is finding a new style of exercise that isn't just walking, mainly to avoid any potential boredom. So I've written myself a list of exercises to try, those being dancing, weight training, like at home weight training, yoga, simple yoga at home, HIIT, high intensity interval training, again at home, and Pilates at home. These are all ooches. We're just trying things out. I don't want to do something like sign up for half a year of yoga classes only to discover after the second lesson that I hate it. Plus I have also lightly tried yoga before, not super loved it, but I'd like to give it another go because I feel like it might have just been the particular video I was watching or something like that. But I also don't think I'll do yoga today. Maybe today I'll do dance. I probably shouldn't dance in the dark, but I don't particularly want to dance with a curtain open either because people don't need to see that. Thankfully, I do have two curtains though, so one that goes to the street and one that goes to, I don't know, the next door neighbor's house or whatnot. So thankfully, I have a good solution to my problem. In terms of finding a dance workout, I have picked this one, which was one of the first ones that came up with a Google search. One of the things that puts our goals at risk is thinking that we need like the perfect option when it comes to trying something new. I need to find the perfect workout routine. I need to find the perfect meal plan. I'm just gonna start with this one, see if I like it, and if I don't, find a new one. Oftentimes we learn a lot more from just giving it a go rather than continuous research. At the start I was kind of thinking, should I pick a different one? This one's only 20 minutes. 20 minutes was very sufficient. Did I nail all the moves? No. A lot of them I kind of took a more interpretive style to, but I do feel that my exercise is done. I feel like I'm sweatier than I usually am after my walks, so that's probably a good thing. I did enjoy it, and I think for the amount of time it took, I would be interested in pursuing more of those. For now though, I feel like I need to go and have a shower because I feel yuck. Yucky. Probably doesn't help that I've had the heater on up here most of the day because I was cold, and now I'm definitely not cold. But as far as trialing a new type of exercise, we have one down, more to go. This is certainly something I would be curious in doing more of, potentially more so in the winter months rather than the summer ones, because it would be an indoor activity rather than an outdoor one. So if I get bored of the walking pad, this is a really good option. I will have to find more, and I think I will have to check out more of her videos. I enjoyed her enthusiasm, and even though part of it was said in French, I'm like, I don't think I really need to know what you're saying. I could probably turn on translation if I really cared. It was sufficiently in English that I knew what was going on. For now though, at least a cold drink, and then thinking about putting my stuff together to go to Rachel's. It has been brought to my attention that to get around the issue of my little book ends kind of raising the last line of journals, or the ones that are actually on the bookend, I can just flip the bookend around and have it pointing out. So then the journals will still stay up, but they will remain level. I think I'm going to trial it on that side for now, just to see if I like it. And then if it works out, I will do it to this one, mainly because I have other stuff over there that I need to be wary of. Similar with this one. And because this shelf is lower, it would bother me more to be able to see the bookend, but these journals aren't all the same height anyway, so this one doesn't bother me quite as much, with it being under, that is. The entire shelf is a bit of a work in progress in terms of decoration, but at the moment I like the way it's set up. For now though, I feel like I have sufficiently cooled down, even if my face doesn't look like it's the case, so it's time to get packed. And I still have my bag out from yesterday, so I'm going to take that one. And mainly what I need to pack is my annotating book, because Rachel and I are going to have a cozy annotating date. But hopefully not too cozy, because I'm still overheated. Most enjoyable evening hanging out with Rachel, and very excitingly, I got my annotations of Akamath done, which means now I can move on to annotating Quicksilver, which is also a complete chonker of a book, and one that I have DNF'd previously, so I'm super looking forward to it. I know it's actually good. Rachel and Monica both rated it 5 stars, so I'm sure I'll actually enjoy it once I get past the start of it. But that is not a current me problem, that is definitely a future me problem, because now it is 11:15 and thus time to go to bed. Tomorrow is going to be another day of working on work, but also Vlogmas, making sure that future Jess has a slightly easier time with that project. For now though, good night. Good morning. Happy Thursday. We have a live stream to do today, which will feature setting up layouts for a video for next week, which given that there are 26 layouts, it's probably going to take me a while. It'll probably take me longer than the live stream, which means that might end up being a full day task. But it is still technically a favor for future Jess, so that is the theme of the week and we will do it. Other than that, because it is Thursday, we also have date night, which we're very much looking forward to. Not that we know what's happening just yet, because Vogel wanted to go and see a movie by Chris Struckman. I don't know who that is. I think it's a YouTuber, but the times at the cinema suggest that it's not going to be on for super long, so we might have to go today. As to be expected, we have overnight oats again for the day with mixed berries. I've been enjoying it so far. I do miss my pineapple, but at least this is still nice. We are getting ready to live stream though, which means we need to turn on the lights and get rid of this box, or like put it somewhere else. There we go. I also probably don't need a glue stick, but it can stay there for now. What I do need to do is figure out what other headers I'm gonna need, but that might be an on-stream task. Let's go! Our live stream is done, which means my desk is sufficiently messy, and I definitely need to fill up my water bottle because I didn't do that before the stream started. That was not me doing a favor for future Jess. But I think that for pretty much the rest of the day, I'm going to be setting up these layouts. It's been a hot minute since I've done an ideas video like this, and I kind of forgot how long it takes me to make all of these layouts, and thus is a pretty good indicator as to why I stopped making a lot of those videos. But I'm getting it done. I'm looking forward to it being finished. I've also just gone and updated the Vlogmas schedule to include the podcast episodes, because technically speaking, they also require filming and editing and uploading, so it makes sense to include them. The more I look at the schedule, the more stressed I get, and I know it's just because I haven't, or at least I don't feel like I've really gotten started. As soon as I get started, it'll be fine, but until then, stress. For now though, I'm gonna tidy up my desk a little bit, mainly just moving stuff that I'm not currently using out of the way so I can continue setting up these layouts, because if I could get pretty much all of them done today, that would be awesome. I don't think I'm actually gonna be able to get all of them done today, but as close to 26 as possible would be pretty sweet. So far we have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 26. Not bad. That's almost 20% of the way through. Progress is being made. I'm at 12 kind of general structures so far, but 2 of those need some additional work. And I'm yet again reminded that this takes a while, and there's a reason I don't do it as often. They're coming together. I like the way they look, but I do need to be wary of the time because it is Thursday, which means it's date night, and Vogel and I are going to be going out to the cinema to see that movie. But I also want to make sure that I do my exercise before we go, because I probably won't want to do it when we get back. And I'm kind of thinking, okay, do I want to try a different style of exercise today? Because future Jess would like me to experiment with those kind of things. Or do I just go kind of easy for today and go with a walk instead. At least that's something that has a very set amount of time and it's familiar, which means I would kind of maximize the amount of time I have to work on this particular project. That might be kind of beneficial because, as previously mentioned, I do want to get as much of this done today as possible. I don't want it to linger on for too long, which it can sometimes do. Sometimes it takes me many days to get these kind of ideas set up, in part because I second guess everything and in part because it just takes a while. I want to do a good job of it. That being said, I did also want to try a kind of at-home weight routine. So maybe if I can find like a simple one for beginners that has like a set amount of time that shouldn't take me too long to get prepared for, because sure, the video might take like 20 minutes, but that doesn't mean the actual thing takes 20 minutes. You have to get yourself together for it. Maybe if I find something like that, I could do that. And if I can't find something easily, I'll just do a walk. Okay, so one of the first ones that showed up was actually one of the HIIT workouts, so I'm like, I'm just gonna do that instead because it specifically calls out no equipment needed. So I'm like, okay, that just makes life easier. But that is not for right now. For right now, we are setting up layouts and then we will do that before we head off for date night. Progress has been made. This isn't looking too bad, but now it is time for exercise. Which means it's time to close the curtain so I don't feel like I have an audience. Even though literally nobody is watching me, it still makes me uncomfy. Because we're gonna be doing exercise up here because Vogel is gonna be walking on the walking pad downstairs. Well, I gave it a go and I thought it was going pretty well at the start, and then they started doing a whole bunch of like up-down exercises and a lot of things where you have to put a lot of pressure on your wrists. There's probably a particularly safe way to do it. This video doesn't necessarily have specific instructions surrounding that, and given my, I guess kind of like fear of hurting my wrists, because, I don't know, they're fragile. The last time I did stretching exercises with my wrist hurt for a long time, or at least longer than I would have liked, which you could pretty say is any amount of time, but anyway. I'm not gonna rule out HIIT completely, but I don't think that one was for me, given that it also says that it's for beginners, and I'm going with the whole, like, you know, at home, no equipment needed or anything. It is expected that you're going to have some particular exercises that are not going to gel well with me. I took a lot of liberties during this. I was like, okay, during the time that we're supposed to be moving, I'm still going to move. I'm not going to do the getting up and down off the floor kind of things or putting pressure on my wrist kind of things. So technically I did it, didn't love it. Much preferred dance from the other day. That was better. But for now, it is time to get stuff together because we're going for date night. Date night was most enjoyable. We went and tried Popeyes, which neither of us have had before, so that was kind of cool. We enjoyed our chicken, we enjoyed our biscuit, and then we went and saw Shelby Oaks, which we were both like, We were happy to support a small film production, but we don't really think it was for us. The reviews online are like really mean though, or at least the ones that came up when we tried to search for some kind of like explainer video. That's not to say we needed the film like explained to us, we just kind of wanted to make sense of the ending, because we had kind of differing opinions about what was going on there. Not sad we went and saw it. Always a good time to go for a date night with Vogel. But for now, I just want to write myself a little checklist for tomorrow so I know what's going on, and then we're going to get into bed and watch a Dead Meat episode. I'm about 3 hours into the 5-hour episode that is episode 3 of Critical Role Campaign 4. That one's going good, so I'll probably finish it off tomorrow while I set up more of these layouts. And that means that come tomorrow, I will have 54 work days remaining before we go on our trip to Korea, and 66 videos to make or put out, because, you know, live streams count as well. It's cool, we got this. But for now, Vogel and I are gonna go watch that episode of Dead Meat and probably go to bed. So, good night. Good morning, happy Friday. I've decided to have breakfast in bed, and by that I mean work time in bed, because I didn't quite feel like getting up to have a shower. Now Vogel is in there, so I have to wait. On the cards for today is primarily work, and then goal work in the form of work, because the goal work will be prepping for Vlogmas to do future Jess a Favour. We do also need to start organising some stuff for our Korea trip, and also the mini moon. Vogel's done some of the mini moon stuff this week. He's made some bookings for us, so that's all good, but I think there are some final decisions to make in that space. and it will feel very peace-inducing to have those things kind of locked in. I would also love to do future just the favor of having a vegetable today, or at least a fruit or something, because I feel like I've been neglecting my fruit and veg recently, and the body isn't really all that happy with that. For now though, I think I might go downstairs and grab my breakfast and then continue on the tippy-tappy-typey, just planning out some of the future videos and what's going to be included in those. I'm definitely making progress. I don't have any videos fully planned out, but I have 3 or so that are half planned out. I'm kind of doing this like follow your joy mentality, so jumping into a video outline space, typing up what I can think of in the moment, and then as soon as it gets boring, just jumping over to another one, because none of them have to be 100% completed right now, but if I have some kind of scaffold, future Jess will have something to work with. So it's essentially, as I have a thought about an individual video, I'll just jump into that one, type up some notes, and then follow where my thoughts take me. Maybe they'll have a thought about another video, type those ones up. For now though, it is 10 to 9, so as much fun as it is working in bed, my legs are getting sore, I should probably get up and have a shower and take this party to the office. Despite the wild weather we were having yesterday, it's actually really nice today, so maybe I'll go for an outside walk. Feeling clean and ready to tackle the day, and I'm actually feeling quite optimistic about getting things done, so I want to kind of like double down on that and really get things done. But what I've also been thinking about in the idea of doing favors for future us is quitting things when they aren't working. And I think that the weekly schedule that I made for myself for this quarter isn't working for me. In particular, I'm finding that getting to my exercise has been really challenging, because previous schedule, I would, wake up, exercise, breakfast, shower, get on with the day. So it was like that was the first thing that was done and it was checked off the list, the streak was alive, we continued on. But with the current schedule I'm on is get up, shower, breakfast, come back upstairs to do your teeth so you can then start your day, and then at the end of the day you do your exercise. But then I'm like, exercise is gonna make me sweaty. Do I change into my workout clothes and then change out of them at the end, but then still be sweaty? So kind of have to have a shower, but I don't really want to, because like, as much as I enjoy a shower when I'm in the shower, actually getting myself into the shower, And because of that, in the morning when I need to, go from bed to shower, there's no momentum that I've built up. Whereas when I go bed to exercise to breakfast to shower, I've kind of like ramped myself up to do that thing. Even though I enjoy a shower, I just find it hard to make myself get in and do the thing, or not delay on getting in and doing the thing. And I've kind of found that doing my exercise at the end of the day has felt more like a disruption than it has a kind of nice transition between work or day activities and evening activities. So I'm kind of thinking I want to restructure my ideal weekly schedule so that exercise is back in the morning. Obviously that ship has kind of sailed for today. It's 9:30 and I'm not going to go and do my exercise now after I've just showered, no. But I do think that it would be a kindness to future Jess to kind of just be realistic with myself now that it isn't working the way I want it to, go back to something that does work for me, especially in the lead up to the busy season that is November and December. Redoing that schedule though is not a right now task. A right now task is getting on with prepping for videos and such. These are the videos that I've got down as ones to potentially prepare for today. Well, with some of them being, yes, please do prepare for this, and some of them being, I can prepare for this if I get time. And I also need to think about a newsletter, but I don't have a topic, and honestly, I don't really want to force a topic if there's not something that I want to talk about. I've got a back catalogue of ideas, but I don't ever want the newsletter to come off as just like oh, this is a filler episode because Jess didn't have anything meaningful to say. So I'm probably not going to at least start my workday with that one. Time to think about lunch, but I actually think I might get all of these journal layouts done today, which is an exciting thought because I was kind of predicting that it was going to take me like 4 days to get them done, or at least 3. So 2 isn't too bad. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch though, so take that with a grain of salt. I am making good progress, just need to do one more idea layout and also just finalize another one that I have in here. And the live stream of Critical Role episode 4 is happening in like 7 minutes. And I kind of want to see if I can watch it live. The problem with watching it live is that you can't pause though, so I don't want to commit to several hours of sitting here when I also want to be working, because oftentimes if I'm watching something while I work, I will pause it anytime I kind of need to complete a thought or need to write something down, or just kind of need to have whatever's in the background that's going stop for a second. Can't really do that with this kind of live stream because they don't have a pause button, they just have a stop button. which isn't my favorite. And I know that they have some kind of subscription where you can watch that stuff after the fact and probably also pause it, but I don't know if I'm ready to commit to that yet. Yeah. So the countdown is going. I'm gonna see if I can tune in with it, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I'm gonna at least try my best and not let it distract me from my work.
Grow from the ground all around her. You can see, in fact, Octus's body on the table. And she chooses to fail the saving throw against the entangle spell, rooting herself to the ground in this moment.
Well, we have made it up to the break in Critical Role, and I have finished all of the layouts that I needed to set up, so that's awesome. It did definitely take me longer than it would have if I wasn't watching Critical Role, but I made my choices. Right now, though, it is about 10 to 6, and time to think about going to get Vogel, which means I might stop watching the episode, which means I'll just have to watch it next week, because if I'm not watching it live, then I have to wait for it to come out as a video. It's cool, it's fine, doesn't even matter. I am enjoying it, but I was enjoying it more before this episode. For now, though, I am just trying to tidy up my office a bit, so it's a little more functional for tomorrow when I'm actually doing filming. It's not so bad at the moment, but I have also made a decent start on my tidy up efforts. The office is tidy, no more Critical Role from me tonight, because it's time to go get Vogel. Vogel was acquired, exercise was done, dinner has been had, and now we are in the office, and by that I mean I am in the office, Vogel's like in the bathroom or something, and we're going to be doing some research for the career trip and also finalizing stuff for the mini-moon. Because not only will that be a favour to future us, it'll also be a favour to current us, because I'm feeling just a little stressy that we don't actually have the details sorted for those. My mind will be more at peace with those things sorted. Of course, I have decided to take my investigation to Instagram because it's just a lot more appealing when you get to see little videos or photos of places rather than just Googling what to do when you go to Seoul. How's our searching going?
You're doing a great job, and I'm watching Critical Role episode 3.
You're doing a great job too. You're being very helpful.
I am finding some places. I just feel like a lot of the places I'm finding you already found.
What's the favoritist places you found so far?
Naksun Park. Yeah, because we love K-pop Demon Hunters. We're going to go there. It's going to be cute. The big palace. The Gyeongbokgung Palace. Please don't cancel me, internet. I'm trying.
Gyeongbokgung Palace.
I think I did pretty good.
I think you did pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say my pronunciation is actually any good, but like, we tried.
We could be reinforcing each other on bad pronunciation.
Yeah. We know like 3 Korean words now.
What do we know?
We know Juseo, Jo, and Onion Wholesale.
We know how to say hello, gimme, which we're told not to use.
Do not use
and
Jo.
Please give me.
Please give me that.
Yeah.
Back where I started the day, but we did make some decent progress in terms of figuring out places that we could go when we're in Korea and Singapore. Nothing confirmed yet because we do need to run the ideas past the fam and see where they want to go, and if there are any kind of like double ups, then locking those in, picking days for them, and then if there are ones where it's really just Vogel and I want to go, then scheduling those around the other ones. For now though, a favour that I'm going to do for tomorrow, Jess, is going to sleep. I am tired. And I've been finding that a lot of this week I've been not necessarily like fighting my tiredness, but I've kind of acknowledged that I'm tired, made my way to bed, but then gotten to bed and not necessarily just gone to sleep. And I do not think that that has been a kindness to myself. That being said, another kindness that I very much need to do for myself is preparing my breakfast for tomorrow. So we're going to do that first, and then we're gonna go to bed. Thankfully, I at least prepared all the dry ingredients at the start of the week, so it's just adding the wet ingredients to this. Yogurt, milk, mix, done. Notably, this one has strawberry flavoring in it. That one doesn't, because I'm not too sure if I'm gonna have enough berries for 2 days, but tomorrow, Sunday. I love my overnight oats. Do you love overnight oats, Vogel?
Nope.
Not even a little bit. That's okay. It's not for everybody. With that favour done though, now it is time to do another and write in my 5-year journal and go to sleep. So, good night. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I really need to put that tripod away because I'm sick of it being in the back of these shots. But I am awake, barely. I got out of bed earlier than I was probably planning to because a video that was coming out today just needed a fix. That's cool. That one's done. But for now, I'm going to write myself a list of what needs to get done today because although I already know what I need to do, I think that having a list is going to help me be more focused. Once that list is done though, I think I might go downstairs and do my exercise early because we are going out for dinner tonight to Vogel's parents' place. That was where we were supposed to go last week, but somebody was sick, so we didn't go. And I don't don't want to exercise right before we go to their place. In fact, what I'll probably do is do my exercise, have my breakfast, get ready for the day, and then have a look at revamping my weekly schedule so that then exercise is just the first thing that happens. Because I think that it's just going to work better for me moving forward. Feeling clean, feeling tidy, feeling mostly ready for the day. We have podcast recordings today. And by recordings, I mean just one. Calm down. Though it is good that we are getting ahead of them, because with December and November being as busy as they are, and then going away in January, it would be nice to know that we have some in the bank. So today we're recording the one that's going up not next week, but 2 weeks after that. And I'm gonna see if I can talk Mark into filming the one that comes after that next week, so we're like super ahead. As for the ideal weekly schedule though, this is what it looks like at the moment, and I've been finding that I don't really need the meal prep block at the moment because I'm not really doing meal prep like that, and all of these exercise blocks I want to put at the start of the day. Thankfully that's not a huge kerfuffle. It does require moving a bunch of things, but I think if I at least put it onto the calendar, then I'm kind of just like committing to the idea of exercise being the first thing in the day rather than being able to talk myself out of it. I really enjoyed my walk this morning, and it feels nice knowing that I've checked that off my list. I don't have to kind of like interrupt my afternoon to go and do that later. So I'm gonna make those changes now and then record the podcast. Is uploading now, so once it's all uploaded I'll be able to download it and get it into the editing folder. While that's doing its thing though, I need to take a thumbnail, and I found that the easiest way to take thumbnails, at least for the podcast, is to just set my camera recording and just like do the different options and then take a screenshot of it. It seems to work well enough. It gives me a high quality enough image that I can actually use it, and it means that I don't have to like, you know, take a photo, check the photo, take another photo, check another photo. I just kind of like transition through the options. We have a general mock-up of that thumbnail done though, and now it's time to record another video. This one's going to be about building an ideal weekly schedule, which is going to be a members video. If you wanted to join the team with a capital T or our channel membership, that one's linked in the description box, or you can scan the QR code on screen here. Depending on the tier, you can get an additional 4 videos per month, and we'd love to have you with us. The footage has been filmed, and after removing silent points, we have about 27 minutes of footage, so this shouldn't take too long. And I've already made the thumbnail, so haha, double plus good. That one took about 45 minutes, but the editing is done, which is one more video completed. That one has been published now though, so it's time to move on to something else. And in selecting my next task, what I'm really thinking about is what could I do that would make next week and the week after, whenever, just a little bit easier. In particular, anything that I can get done today, like finished, that would be sweet. And I'm thinking that I might go through and schedule any of our team member like membership perks that I can do in advance without having to make a video, of course, today. So that would be things like the release schedule, getting that one prepared and scheduled for release, which seems kind of silly, like releasing the release schedule. That could be like the monthly welcome posts to let people know when their perks are coming up, those kind of things. And I think that if I am good about it, I could probably get December's and November's done. That would be a big kindness to future me. Plus also in thinking about the fact that we have a whole bunch of video content coming up in December, anything that I can do to lessen my kind of rumination on, yep, sure, videos, but also this, but also this, but also this, that will definitely be peace-inducing. When it comes to making the release calendars, I first set them up in Excel and then export those to make the picture in Photoshop, and then I bring them over to YouTube so they can get posted. The slight issue is that the structure of those is very much templated, so each month has a kind of like set structure that it looks like, but that also relies on me only releasing a certain number of videos each week. So when we get to December, where there's a video per day, the structure I have or that I usually use isn't quite right. The fix for that isn't super involved, but it is just something to be mindful of. But in doing it now, future Jess doesn't have to do it. I got the welcome posts up, I got the release schedules up, so that is looking good. I don't think there's anything immediately that I can do membership related outside of like planning videos or something. Now as I said that, maybe I should plan some videos. And even if they're not necessarily membership videos I'm planning, I could plan Vlogmas videos. I'm gonna go pick out some easy ones. Did she get distracted by reels? You betcha. But she did also get the sound balanced for the podcast that we recorded today, and she is currently exporting the split screen because she just makes it herself rather than using the downloaded one from the kind of software that we use to record the podcast, mainly because they just take forever. to let me download it. Just downloading the single tracks of like me and Mark doesn't take any time at all, like barely any time, whereas getting the split screen downloaded takes an infinity, because they're like, oh, we have to edit it together for you and it's a very labor intensive process. I'm like, it really isn't. I did mine in about 1 minute, because it's essentially just like take one of the clips, cut it in half, like in terms of the amount of space it takes up on the screen, like cut it in half, and then the other one just position so it's next to it. That's it. But that's good. That's exporting now. Once it's done, I can put that into the editing folder, so that's another thing that I can check off my list. But we do have roughly 15-ish minutes before we're going out for tea to Vogel's parents' place, so I'd like to make those 15 minutes productive at least. Something that I had been planning to do today was film the 26 journal ideas video, but I kind of forgot that I was going to do that, and then it got to this point in the day and I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work anymore, especially because somebody is mowing a lawn outside, which they are fully within their right to do. It's just enough background noise that I would get concerned that it would show up in the video, like the audio, and thus I would be second guessing whether I could be heard the entire time, which would just take longer to record. So I'm going to leave recording that until next week, and instead I'm going to do some like very light scaffolding of Vlogmas stuff. For that, I essentially just jump into the individual templates for each of the videos I'm going to release and just write some stuff down in the notes section. Well, I've been upstairs doing work. Vogel has been hard at work down here too. What you been working on?
Arts and crafts. We're doing a Nintendo Labo. This is Baby Bonnie.
Oh my god.
This is Lucy. And I'm about to start on Reginald. And I promise you, I am not making this up. This is what the thing called it.
Well, I'm glad they're having fun. I ended up going in and planning about 4 videos, and now I'm just kind of looking at my schedule, trying to map out when I'm going to work on things a little more. One of the things I've done to help myself out is just grey out sections where it's like, don't kid yourself, you're not going to work on this video at this point. Mainly for those videos that I just simply need to be closer to the release time before I can really do anything, because it might rely on another video getting produced or something else. For instance, I'm not going to work on my January plan with me until I do my start of journal setup in my next journal. It's not very sensible to try and do that in the reverse order. I would like to get it to the point where I have at least scheduled out when I'm going to work on everything that is for the remainder of October and November, and then I can go and really start mapping out when the Vlogmas stuff will happen. That's going well. I'm getting a lot closer to having a more fleshed out plan of when things are happening. I kind of want to make the aim to be next week, get half a week ahead, and then the week after, get a full week ahead, or something like that, just so I can kind of build up some buffer, so that then when we go on our mini moon, I've already got videos in the bank. And I don't have to come back and be like, oh my god, it's such a panic and a stress and there's like way too much to do or anything like that. For now though, it's time to leave. How was dinner?
Yeah, it was good.
What was your favourite part?
The chicken and the bread.
Oh, the bread was
Bread's
good.
always good.
And the cake was really tasty as well.
Yeah.
What flavour cake?
Lemon.
Yeah, lemon.
Mum always does a good job.
Indeed. What are we going to do now?
I'm going to go watch some Critical Role and play Pokemon.
But Vogel's parents gave me my birthday gifts from them, so they got me some shower burst fragrance bomb things, and also a Himalayan salt lamp. This one is probably going to go either in the cozy corner or on my shelf. One thing we did start talking about though was Christmas and food for Christmas, yay. And because I kind of ran out of space on my current daily log section and didn't have any more for the month of October, or the cycle of October, I've just put a little focus header here, and this is going to be my task list for tomorrow. A mere some minutes later, that one is now looking populated, and I think it's going to be time to get into bed. Vogel's watching Critical Role. I'm going to just lie there and probably watch with him and make sure to fill out my 5-year journal because I don't want to get behind on that. But after that, it's going to be time to go to sleep. So, good night. Good morning, happy Sunday. We are bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to tackle the world. Kinda, it's all a facade. We're gonna go for a walk though, because doing my exercise first thing yesterday morning was just really pleasant. It was nice to get outside, it was nice to get some fresh air, and it also felt like a little accomplishment for the start of the day. And then going through my day, it was nice to know that that was already done. More of that. I'm also very tempted in the next week's vlogs to do some kind of like, countdown to Vlogmas of like, oh hey, we have this many days left and I have this many videos left to do. Or in a more kind of positive manner, we have this many days left and I've done this many. out of this many. That kind of math is for later though, because right now it's time for walking. The walk is done, it was quite pleasant, and the streak is alive. For now, I'm just having my breakfast. Sad overnight oats because I don't have any fruit to put on top of it because we haven't done any groceries yet. But now as the meal plan is done, we can write a grocery list. I can get ready for the day, and then it'll be on to the team hangout. Once a month, the team with a capital T or the channel members have a hangout over on Discord, just to like chill out, banter, do journal work or whatnot. It's always a good time. And I think that today I'm going to take it as an opportunity to finish off the rest of my November pages, because in knowing that November is busy, November Jess doesn't want to be setting up her journal. November Jess just wants to be able to get in, use her journal, write the things down, and get out again. So we're going to finish off the setup with that in mind. I think I only have one more weekly dashboard, the daily log spaces, and a check-in space to set up. Though I might also put in a couple extra daily log spaces just as a buffer, because I already have stuff in the November section because I didn't quite have enough space in the October section. Just kind of safeguard myself against running out of space, because as soon as I start to feel limited on space, I start not writing things down, and when I don't write things down, they get forgotten, and then if they get forgotten, they don't get done. I want things to be done. Feeling a little more ready for the day, but now it is time for hangout. Most productive team hangout. We had bands, we hung out, we got to talk about books and journaling and whatever else, and also Critical Role because Monica and I got a little bit sidetracked. But for now, we are headed downstairs. We're gonna heat up some food because I am hungrizzle. In particular, I have a pasta in there that, I mean, it doesn't like expire or anything until December, but I thought it would be nice to give it a go, mainly because it's not that bad in terms of, you know, nutritional value or whatnot. I also just know that I do prefer having a hot lunch, so maybe this could be a really good option for on those days or like weeks where I'm just not really feeling like making my own food, but I don't want to get DoorDash. Maybe I could have these instead. I have to wait and see how it goes though. In terms of actual work that I managed to get done during our hangout though, I have fully set up all of the November pages now. So all the weekly dashboards are done. I've got all of my kind of daily logging spaces done. The end of cycle or end of month check-in spaces there, which meant that I could also put away all of the supplies. And I know that November Jess is going to appreciate that so very much. What I do want to do though is go and populate the start of cycle pages. For instance, I have already gone and put in the Vlogmas schedule, but I want to make sure that I put in the steps we need to take for career planning, like the ones that are left, the steps we need to take for mini moon planning, all of those kind of bits and pieces, so I can really hit the ground running when it comes to next cycle, because next cycle starts tomorrow. It doesn't look super attractive, but hopefully it tastes alright. It's actually not so bad. I think it needs more mushrooms, but I could also just add more mushrooms if I wanted to. And I have started preparing my overnight oat bases for next week. But now it's back to hanging out in the office and getting some more things done. I've had quite a productive afternoon. I decided on what I want to have for my reading journal for next year. That is going to be this one, gorgeous. I have ordered myself some like bathers, togs, a swimsuit or whatnot because I don't actually have one. And when we go to Mini Moon in Queenstown, we're going to an onsen and you have to wear some kind of like swimwear or swim attire in the onsen. Last time I decided to elect some of my general regular undergarments as swimwear, but this time I thought it'd be nice to have something a little more official. And beyond that, I also started doing my cycle in review. I have gotten through, well, at least the start of the wins section and the challenges. I have to do the rest, but Vogel's almost here, so we're gonna go have some tea and probably watch Stranger Things, which I feel like it's been a hot minute since we were watching that, so I can't really remember where we're up to. Also, I just remembered that we did exercise at the start of the day, and it just feels really good knowing the streak is alive and I don't have to, like, as soon as I finish my eating of dinner or whatnot, get on the walking pad because I hadn't already done that. I've done it. Yay. I'm feeling good about this new structure of going back to exercising in the morning. Doing some prep for the week. So we have little pretzel containers and I'm prepping my overnight oats. And I got out some frozen mango for myself and I'm just leaving that in the fridge to defrost. I've not had overnight oats with frozen mango before, or defrosted mango, so should be interesting. I'm looking forward to it though, and I think that having the pre-measured out containers of my pretzels, which I've already like weighed out and stuff for myself, that is definitely going to help next week me make better choices when it comes to lunches. For now though, Vogel and I have just finished another episode of Stranger Things, and as much as we would love to watch another, the next episode's going to be like an hour and a half long. I'm like, why are you making episodes of a TV show that long? It's fine, but it is definitely not the time to start another one of those. So instead, we're going to go upstairs and watch Dead Meat in bed, because that one at least is only an hour long, so we can make our peace with that. Once that's wrapped up though, then we're going to be going to bed. So now for something completely different. Blah. Blah. Thinking of what videos I want to... Whoa. Door's randomly left open. There's a ghost in my house. It's cool. Better late than never. Never. To make the recipe one boke. What?
You want to do that without filming it?
Nope.
So you can do it properly?
No.
No?
You can put it in.
Great.
Thanks, babe.
Good. Good.
Thanks, B.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bixby. Do. I am very pleased with the favours that I managed to accomplish for future me this week, and I think the future me will also appreciate those. In particular, I'm just feeling a lot better knowing when all the pieces of content for Vlogmas will be coming out, and also when I'm going to be working on most of those. And of course, if you want to make sure that you don't miss Vlogmas, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you with us. My main focus for next week is jumping back into Notion to get the digital recipe book set up, but if you wanted to see all of the videos in the Change Your Life challenge thus far, then this playlist is the next one to check out. That one includes all of the goals that I've already achieved for this quarter, as well as the ones that I've only started on, but click or tap on that one and I'll see you over there.